A pleasant good morning to all in attendance. This ceremony is now called to order. I would like to invite us all to stand for a musical rendition of the national anthem. Thank you all. You may be seated. Today is indeed a very, very special day. It is a day of blue skies and a bright sunshine, at least here in Georgetown. It is a day that 13,821 children have been anxiously awaiting. It is a day that Guyana as a whole has been awaiting. Today marks the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one for our children. It marks the transition from primary school to secondary school. Dr. Priya Manikchan, Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Wayne Wesley, Registrar and CEO of the Caribbean Examinations Council, Mr. Alfred King, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Nicole Manning, Director of Operations, CXC, Dr. Marcel Hudson, Chief Education Officer, Ms. Nicola Johnson, Chief Planning Officer, Deputy Chief Education Officers, Mr. Amir Ali, Assistant Chief Education Officer for Examinations, and other Assistant Chief Education Officers. Ms. Sauda Kadir Grant, Local Registrar, CXC, head teachers, teachers, parents, top performers and representatives from across the regions. I would like you, those of you who are in the house, to just give us a wave as I call on your region, so let us see where you are. Region 1, welcome. Region 2, they may be traveling. Region 3, welcome. Region 4, there we go. Region 5, may be traveling as well. Region 6, there we go. Region 7, Region 8 could not make it today, but they are joining us on Zoom. Region 8, welcome. Region 9, welcome. Region 10, maybe on the way. Media representatives and our streaming audience. I am Marty D'Souza, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Amerindian and Hinterland Education Development. And I have the distinct pleasure today of being your chairperson for this very auspicious and special ceremony. I would once again like to invite you all to stand to bring reverence upon this house as we join in the universal prayer. All heads bowed. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world is not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-winding thought and action, into the heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. Amen. You may be seated. At this time, we are going to have a brief overview of the National Grade 6 Assessment 2021. This overview will be done by an individual who is a mathematics specialist. He has been the National Maths Officer for some 8 years, a senior education officer, currently performing the duties as the Assistant Chief Education Officer for Examinations. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Amir Ali.
Chairperson, thank you very much, and permit me to observe all protocols established. Honorable Minister, Dr. Wesley, Dr. Manning, good morning, everyone. As the chairperson would have said, my responsibility this morning is to give an overview of the National Grade 6 Assessment for 2021 examinations. The National Grade 6 Assessment for 2021 was written on the 4th and 5th of August last. 14,380 learners registered to write these examinations at 503 centers. 13,821 wrote the examinations, and there were 33 new centers. This I will elaborate on a bit later. To commence the cycle of the 2021 examinations, in October-November 2020, under the new administration and auspices of the Minister of Education, Dr. Priya Manichan, consultations immediately began with CXC and a number of other stakeholders. These consultations were extensive and conducted multiple times, and as many times as was necessary. They included discussions and meetings and were held with CXC, the Ministry of Education staff at Central Ministry and in the regional departments, with grade 5 and 6 teachers and the head teachers of primary schools throughout the country, with grade 5 and 6 learners and their parents, at times separately, and of course with GTU, the Guyana Teachers Union. The main outcomes of these sessions resulted in the following. 1, students, parents, and teachers overwhelmingly preferred an examination in the normal format. That is, a paper 1 of 40 multiple choice questions and a paper 2 with 6 long response questions. For the paper 2s, question 1 will be compulsory, and candidates can answer any other 3 of the remaining 5 questions. Normal format. The paper 1s will be worth a maximum of 40 marks, 1 mark per question, and paper 2s a maximum of 20 marks, 5 marks per question, giving us a total of the combined paper 1 and paper 2 of 60 marks. Outcome number 2 from the consultations. Learners will be tested up to the grade 5 consolidated curriculum. That is a new curriculum developed after the advent of COVID-19 and the prevailing conditions. This is inclusive of grades 3 and 4 normal curriculum, which they would have completed prior to the COVID-19 lockdown and subsequent closure of schools. 3, stakeholders in a large majority voted for the examinations to be written at the end of July. Given CAPE and CSEC was scheduled for mid-June and July, hence CXC's responsibilities for those, the earliest dates for the NGSA 2021 was the 4th and 5th of August, as I mentioned earlier. 4, the examinations will be written under strict COVID-19 protocols and guidelines. 5, because of the time required to mark and process the scores, print results slips, among other things, the earliest results can be available and released is by the end of October. Well, we are here on the 15th of October to do such. So that was a contraction of the time projected from those consultations. 6, in addition to virtual class sessions by the respective school teachers, candidates for these examinations will cover and complete the topics and concepts extensively from the grade 5 consolidated curriculum in the academic year 2020 to 2021. They will be provided with sufficient and relative resources, including but not confined to textbooks, lesson notes for science and social studies, and worksheets. Also, they will be able to tune into scheduled and interactive lessons shown on the Learning Channel and other channels. These lessons will be developed and facilitated by trained and experienced teachers in the 4 subject areas from our education departments or regions. Also, they will participate in learning platforms such as QuizMe and WizKids, which were developed to supplement and reinforce normal sessions. New virtual forums available to the grade 6 cohort of, well, I need to say that year. Outcome number 7, the completion of the grade 5 consolidated curriculum will be supervised closely by officers from the regional departments and also central ministry. These officers will support teachers in whatever form and nature required and possible. 8, the NGSA candidates will write 2 mock exams based on the grade 5 consolidated curriculum. These will be used to expose candidates to exam conditions. Also, the 2 mock exams will serve to a great degree as diagnostic tools for teachers so they can focus and concentrate on areas of deficiency identified from the mock exams for the learners and hence prepare them sufficiently for the examinations. 9, mock exams will be written on the COVID-19 restrictions and protocols, hence give the candidates exposure to such conditions for the real exam on the 4th and 5th of August. Exam center arrangements. After exhaustive and intensive scrutiny of the processes involved for NGSA, including that of centers where the examinations will be written, and given the prevailing COVID-19 conditions and restrictions, 33 new centers were enacted or created, spread across a number of regions. Some of those include regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9, and a total of 381 candidates, grade 6 candidates, would have benefited from the reenactment or the creation of these new centers. The benefits were tremendous. For the first time, candidates from Santa Mission in Region 3, Upper Demerara River, whom would have had to travel by boat for more than an hour daily to write the NGSA in prior years. This was not needed anymore, for Santa Mission was made a center. Other such places include Aliki, Saxagali, Great Truly, among others in the upper Essequibo River, also in Region 3. The benefits were later shared by the parents and the candidates themselves. The marking process. Chairperson, permit me to expound this most crucial and impacting process, as it can have overwhelming and impact, as it can have an overwhelming impact and lifelong consequences on the children's lives. The marking process consists of a number of activities and usually spans around 3.5 to nearly 4 months to the release of results to the candidates. However, this year it was completed in approximately 2.5 months. And again, hence we gathered here today for the release of these said results. As of this year's NGSA, the first time since 2016, when CXC was contracted by the then government of Guyana to manage and regulate the national grade 6 assessments. Yes, there are many firsts for this year. CXC will conduct the marking process in totality. This includes even the review process after results are released. Therefore, CXC would have developed the tests using questions from their existing question bank, supervise and direct standards for the administration of the tests, mark the scripts, include and undertake a number of quality assurance measures and checks, including 1. Having 2 assistant chief examinations for the first time per subject, which improves efficiency and accuracy of the process. This ensured a greater number of scripts are checked after being marked.